Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You what? God design.
Good evening. What's up, world buddies? We back doing another live episode. Welcome. I hope that everyone is enjoying themselves, living their best life. What's going on, everyone? I'm so excited. I'm glad to be back. I hope that you can hear me okay, and I hope that you can see me pretty good. I'm not sure. Give me a thumbs up if you let me know if you can see me. We got a very special episode again. We want to talk about some things, of course, near and dear to my heart, the Boerboel breed. Because this breed is so special and it's amazing, we want to, first and foremost, we breed ambassadors. And it's a special dog. It's just so much to love about the Boerboel. It's surging in popularity with the breed becoming recognized by the American Kennel Club in 2015. We're seeing a surge in popularity. What's going on, Reggie? We want to recognize that the breed is surging. We on a national platform. We're coming on TV. Ever since 2015 on the National Dog Show for Thanksgiving and Christmas, because this breed is so beautiful, they majestic, they strong, they powerful. A lot of people was taking interest in the dogs. 2020, we had the pandemic. We got a lot of new people jumping into the breed because they had a lot of time at home and they was researching. Fast forward in 2022, a lot of those dogs that had puppies at that time, well, a lot of those dogs that were puppies at that time are now breeding dogs. So we have an abundance of Boerboels entering the marketplace. And that's a good thing because they are special dogs. They are really good dogs. They are dogs that we love. They have a huge potential. And with that being said, it's not the breed for everyone. And you will go to a lot of different websites. If you look at the different websites and you see different people saying they're not for first-time owners, and we need to understand why is that? Why is the breed not recommended for first-time dog owners? And I always would go back to the origins and the root of this breed because it's fundamental to understand. They are truly amazing. But we have to, in order to understand where you're going, you need to know where you come from. And everybody that's involved with the breed can tell you they big, they strong, they powerful. And that's because of their origin and design. They were farm dogs. This dog is not far removed from the farm, relatively new breed being to standardized pure breeds. It needs to be understood the type of dog that they are, the way that they were developed. A lot of times in South Africa, what you'll see, you have groups of these dogs. You'll have a packs of Boerboels, and that's the way that they defend as they operate as a unit. And dogs in general, because they evolved from the wolf, they still have this pack instinct. Dogs are social creatures. Dogs are social animals. And understanding that before you get involved with this is going to be fundamental. How the dynamics of a wolf pack, the way that the hierarchy, the way that order is established within the wolf pack. Because this Boerboel is a close relative to the wolf, is not far removed from the farm. Well, it's a distant relative to the wolf, not far removed from the farm. We should know that they are going to carry some of these same instincts. So it doesn't necessarily translate what's going on. It doesn't necessarily translate to success in a civilized society. You're going with this, and so I chose to make this presentation because I love the dogs, and I feel that it could be with the general public. I would like to educate you for protecting the breed. For one, it could be issues. We're going to have some problems because so many people will have the dogs. Everybody is not going to be responsible, and they might not understand exactly what they're doing, the way that they're communicating with the dog. And I want to help you with that. I want to help you have a successful relationship with your dog. I want you to have reach your greatest potential with your dog. I mean, they can add so much value to your life, and we want you to be able to maximize that. So it goes back to, like I said, understanding the fundamentals of having a healthy pack. And the dogs live, because they're social creatures, they live amongst many of their siblings, nephews, nieces, father, mother. So a pack is a unit. It represents a family. That's another way to describe it, or the gang. And they have this social structure and we need to understand the way that the dogs communicate in order for you to be an effective pack leader. You have two roles in the pack. You either a leader or a follower. Another way that could be explained is you either dominant or you submissive. And we may think that this is something that has to be strongly understood when you own a dominant breed, when you own a powerful dog, a dog that is capable of severely injuring you or the general public. And a lot of people take this lightly. They see this beautiful dog and they want to have this dog, and they want to have the dog as a pet. And they do fit into the lifestyle for that reason. They are great companions. They're great pets. But this can be problematic if you are not meeting the fundamental needs of the dog and understanding the way that this relationship has to work. Because if you are not the leader, then you are the follower. And it goes back to their primitive instinct. And with this dog not being far removed from the farm, you haven't had generations of dogs being put into what's going on. Thank you, bro. And you haven't had generations of eliminating the dogs that don't necessarily fit into this civil lifestyle as a pet. These dogs still have these working instincts and desires that they want to be very they still have their, dogs serve as alongside human beings for so many centuries as an asset. They have a role to play within our lifestyles, and this breed was developed to fulfill a need. The farmer has precious livestock, their family, they have threats to their livestock, they have threats to the family. So this breed is developed to as a protection and a companion, a first line of defense. And they live in packs. You got threats that approach, and the dogs you have, and this is another reason for the various types of the dogs, because you might have some dogs that are good at chasing and they fulfill a role in the pack. Then you have the other larger dogs that are better at catching and holding, and they fulfill a role within the pack. So because of that, you have these different varieties and variations within the breed, and that doesn't make one better than the other or one more correct than the other. It has evolved into a breed standard where we're starting to see, we're trying to create the perfect dog that mimics the breed standard. But originally, we have a bunch of different varieties. Some farmers may be into catching game for, depending on the time of the year, they may use the dog for hunting. So because of that, or some farmers may deal with more animal attacks. They may have the dog's primary role as a defender, and they would best serve their purpose as fighting off these dangerous animals, fighting off baboons, hyenas, the whatever dangerous animals that they had maybe to their terrain or their geographical location. So with that being understood, now we're transitioning these dogs into the pet as an American, and they're becoming abroad as they become popular across the world. We don't have to deal with these same situations and circumstances. We just want the dog to live with us and our family and serve us as a loving, loyal companion. They're beautiful dogs, and you may not have dangerous animals or dangerous predators or threats that come to your property that need to be immediately addressed, and therefore the dog doesn't play that role for you. Well, you can't deny their instincts. And because this breed hasn't been selective, well, certain undesirable dogs haven't necessarily been eliminated from the gene pool for many generations. They still have some of these primitive protective instincts, some of the things that make them vital and able to live in a pack where they have this hierarchy, where they have these different roles, subordinates. And if you are not the leader, or if you are not the dominant one, then you are a submissive. So some of the things that the ways with this social hierarchy does, it maintains order within the pack, and it delegates, certain members have certain roles. The leader will designate who eats first, who makes the decision, who breeds, and it's constantly being reinforced through this dominance and submission. And the alphas are the ones that are never submissive. And in the humans and the civilized society, we tend to love our dogs as pets and we treat our dogs as equals, but that is not the way that the animal kingdom or that the dog pack, that's not the way that it's functioned. It does not maintain order that way. It has, these two roles are clearly established, and sometimes we kind of love our dogs a certain way. We misrepresent to the dog, we miscommunicate to the dog their role. And then with this breed, what will happen is they will challenge you. And this type of is normal pack behavior, that this will happen when you have groups of dogs, or even within humans. As a young man becomes of age, he may become rebellious. Same thing, sort of like a teenager. And then as your role as the authority figure, you have to correct that behavior. So within the wolf pack, this type of behavior is corrected through dominance. And so I wanted to talk to you guys, to everyone, about the way that you're communicating with your dog in order to protect our dogs from ending up in shelters, because they're big, powerful dogs. We don't want people to become injured. We don't want people to suffer harm. And the dogs, they're not dangerous. They're not inherently a problem for people. They're not a threat to general society, but it's just we have to understand that they are weapons. And this dog was just like with a weapon, it can cause death or it can cause injury. It can result in injury if it is misused or mishandled. So one of the ways we want to make sure that we are handling these dogs responsibly, it's not that we expect the dog to become a problem. But like I said, they still going to retain some of their instincts from the farm. All of the strong dogs that may not fit into the civilized society having been eliminated from the gene pool. So on occasion, you will have a dog that will challenge you or a dog that will try to assume the role of the leader within the pack. And if you're not a strong leader, if you haven't clearly established these roles, then or you have miscommunicated, and that's really what we're trying to address, the miscommunication of the role, how to clearly establish the dominance over the dog. And it doesn't, a lot of times people confuse the dominance with abuse or aggression or physical harm. So, and I'll give you a perfect example of that is in the wolf pack, the dominant dog, he doesn't do a whole lot of whimpering, whining, and like crying and making these type of noises like, Gucci, Gucci, the way that we would communicate with a baby. That's not the same way that's not how alpha communicates. That's not how alpha, he gives growls. He rarely barks, but he would, or 9 times out of 10, well, in 10 times out of 10, you have the role of the alpha male and then you got the alpha female. So when I say alpha, I use, when I say he, it mostly refers to 9 times out of 10, you have this issue with the large male Boerboel because they powerful, they strong, they feel that they can pull you, they can move you and can control you. And you may not be necessarily communicating to the dog your strength, that you are capable of leading him in the right direction, or you are not worthy of that respect as the leader. The dog may feel like, look, I need to protect the person because they don't know how dangerous this world is. They don't feel you as strong enough or capable enough of defending the homestead. And this is the role of the leader, the alpha. So when you come, so let me give you another example. Omega dogs or the subordinate dogs, they tend to show their belly. They are very submissive. They roll over, crouch when they are approached. These are examples. So if you see the dog doing this, you know that the dog is being submissive. If your dog is standing up erect and he may try to force, you may think that he's forcing you. If he leans and tries to posture and put a position over you in any form or any part of your body, then hey, there, in any part of your body, then what happens is he is asserting himself. He is basically positioning himself over you. And that type of behavior cannot be accepted or tolerated because this could just lead to more dominant behaviors. We have to address this and correct this at that time. You need to be prepared that this is a possibility. This is something that is very real that can happen. And you want to take the authority over the dog because you don't want this dog to become dominant. And as they grow, they tend to get larger and they're more powerful. And this tends to happen around 7-8 months. You may notice some of these things, but it can happen at any time. What are you going to do? How are you going to address this? Did you even know that this was happening? And Appreciate that. So what will we do? And let me give you another example. The way that dogs communicate, a lot of their communication is through body language, positioning, um, with submissive behavior is tail tucking. Exactly. Training begins immediately. Tail tucking, shoulder slumped over. Um, I don't know if everybody lives this type of lifestyle where it's kind of like a predator and a prey type of lifestyle, but there's sometimes that you may see an individual, and I'm talking about human beings, and I'm trying to tie this in with the dogs the way that humans. I would give you a human example and try to tie this back into the dogs. It's a way that a person walks in the room and it's something that kind of draws you. They carry it the way that they carry themselves, and versus you know that this type of person is not the kind of person that you want to mess with or you want to tangle with. Versus another person that may, and everybody doesn't see the world this way, but this is just me. You also have people that will approach, and you can tell by the way that they walk, the way that they carry themselves, that this person, you let your guards down and you feel like they don't have to be, you don't have to be concerned about them, your safety with them, which could be misleading. But with the dogs, it's the same way. The alpha dog, he carries himself, the way that he moves, the way that he struts, the way that he walks, the way that he holds his head, the way that he holds his tail are all indicative of the alpha dog. You can tell amongst the dogs the way and that who is the top dog, who is the leader, who is the one that's in charge. And a lot of people will ask me, well, how do you have bunches of dogs out there at one time without having incidents or issues? Because I am the clear alpha of this pack. There's certain behaviors that I'm not going to accept and I'm not going to tolerate. And you have to, I'm not about abusing the dogs or getting extremely physical with them, but because this is how they understand. I often use the leash. That's my tool. That's how I communicate messages with the dogs. And I often encourage people to keep the leash on the dog when they start having when they first get their puppies, because their freedoms have to be earned. And this is another way that you establish in the pecking order, or the way that things are supposed to be, the way that things are going to grow. All of the rewards, all of the praise, everything has to be earned. Nothing is going to be given to you here. You're not just free to do what you want to do and have your fun and just you're not able to be free and have your fun without earning these. These are privileges, and these privileges are earned through correct behavior, through me being able to trust that you are going to behave yourself, and that you know the rules, and you're going to abide by the pack rules, which means no fighting. When I call you, that you're going to come. It's not a request. It's not a request. This is a command, and that's how this is training. We are establishing these different procedures and policies that we're going to abide by in order for us to have a healthy relationship. And so I'm clearly the leader. I'm not coming up to the dog and I'm not kissing them in the face. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you do, you have to understand that this is the behavior of a puppy. And this behavior does occur in the pack. This is the behavior of a puppy, though. When you come to the dog and you put your face up to the dog and looking for the kiss, you are actually showing the dog that you are a submissive. You are the one that is submitting to him. Even though that we love our dogs, we want to we want to have a kiss or whatever. But I never would just do that behavior because that's the dog supposed to come up to me and he's looking for me. He's trying to lick my lips or whatever. And it's just not the way of the alpha. It's not the way of the dominant. It's not the way of the leader. And we don't want to mix those signals up with the dog. We don't want the dog to feel like at any given time he is the leader, because these roles are not interchangeable. It's not something that, okay, today I'm going to be the leader and then tomorrow you get to be the leader. And then Wednesday I'll be the leader again, and then Thursday you can be the leader. This role of a leader is at all times. It is this: I am the leader from the time that you arrive. You can trust that I'm going to guide you and lead you in the proper way that's fair. I'm going to show love and praise when it's warranted. And I'm going to also issue out corrections and discipline when it's warranted. And this is a part of balance and being fair with your dogs. And we have to just know this. We have to take this, understand this. It's critical in order for us to have a healthy and balanced relationship. If we're not doing this, if we're not establishing, and a lot of times I don't say, because we all mean well, we all want to do this with our dog, but with a powerful, large, dominating breed like the African Boerboel, this has to be clearly established. This has to be clearly established. And if not, the dog may assume this role. Now you're going to have issues when it comes time to feeding, or the dog may feel like, growling. And this is just not that they mean harm, or if you approach the food bowl, the dog is, going, Rrr. It's not that they mean harm. It's that they're establishing, I am the leader. I am in charge. This is my bowl. They're claiming ownership of the bowl. And if we allow this behavior to continue, they may claim ownership of the couch. They may claim ownership of the toys. And the way that the dog will correct your behavior, the alpha wolf corrects the subordinates, and it is with it. Sometimes it can get physical. It will be involved in nipping, and it involve sometimes it may involve all of the dogs in the pack jumping on one dog and taking turns, taking shots. And this is normal behavior for a pack of dogs, but this is unacceptable in a civilized setting. This is unacceptable in the household. We're not going to take turns. Everybody not going to just pile in and jump on somebody that may be using somebody that may not follow the rules within the household. So these type of interactions are different. These interactions are instances that we have to be in absolute control of the situation. And I will get to that. With the Boerboel, because of the type of breed that they are, what makes them have these different attributes is because they're valuable. The power, the muscle, the athleticism, all of these characteristics make this breed capable, and they can fit into a situation that calls for them to defend. They have what it takes in order to be a valuable defender. You can't have a valuable, because any dog most dogs should bark, and alert you to intruders on the territory. But not all dogs are capable of defending this territory. Not all dogs are capable, and the Boerboel is very capable, and that's why they are a companion slash defender protector. And I get into this. This is more of the way that the dogs fit into my life. It's not so much that they are beautiful dogs. I do love the fact that they beautiful dogs. Don't get me wrong, and I love the fact that they're powerful. And it's not so much that they are a show dog, and I'm not into so much of. I mean, we can't. I'm not saying that my dogs can't fit in the shows, but my primary focus is on the abilities and the function of the dog. And so I don't really get into so much about the correctness of the angulation, and because those are minuscule points, and I feel like those points are objective to your desires or your preferences. So I might like the dog to have a little bit more muscle in the rear. You may prefer the dog to be a little bit more leaner and have less thickness. So, and I can't say that you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong for your preferences. And that's why we don't get into the appraisals. So that leads me up into the NABA, the unfolding of NABA. We're gonna get to those questions. I will I will touch on this because I do have a lot of people before I get into NABA and the United Boerboel Club. But before I will touch on the different mastiffs, because I do have people saying, well, they always show me the alibi or the Malakli or the Central Asian Shepherd, which is a big, powerful dog. You see the dogs on different videos. They about 6 feet tall, or they standing over the owner. They got thick bones. They're a little bit long haired. But for me, it's not just about having a big dog. Those dogs won't fit into the civil society. I live in an urban environment. Those dogs don't fit into where I live because they need livestock to protect. They need a lot of land to run. They tend to want to live outside. So although it is a mastiff breed, it's not the ideal for me. And I think it's important for us to understand when we selecting the dogs, any dog that you have that you're going to bring into your lifestyle, it should fit. It should fit. So every dog is not for everybody. Some people need to have poodles, and some people fit better with a golden retriever or a Labrador, because every dog, you're not strong enough, or you're not active enough to maintain or with a Malinois energy level, or the energy level of a German Shepherd or working dog. They're going to tear up your house. They're going to tear up your furniture, because the dog is not going to be happy, because you're not meeting the needs, the way that this dog has been developed for over 100 years, over many different generations. You're not meeting these instinctual desires that these dogs have. They've been bred and selected a certain way to perform a certain task. And if you're not meeting this fundamental need, you're not this genetic instinct that's deeply embedded in the dog, the reason for them breeding, the reason for them surviving these many different generations, then it's going to become problematic. And so each breed has its own purpose. Each breed is designed to fulfill a need. A hunting dog, a hound dog, is supposed to be, they want to chase, they want to alert, they want to hound, they want to howl. Beagles, the same way. So you're going to select the dog based on your lifestyle. You want to fit the dog into your lifestyle. And sometimes with the Boerboel, especially with a large male, you have to understand, or you have to expect this type of behavior and this dominant behavior, because with respect to this dog's lineage and his heritage, the way that with the things that made them valuable to the farmer, an asset to the South African farmer, and their very hard environment, the way, so with respect to all of that, this dog was deeply embedded inside of his DNA. Is this dog for me? And if this behavior arises, what am I going to do to correct it? Me, so I'm a bit old school. A lot of time trainers, and this could be very problematic. I want everybody to pay attention. This might be a good time to share this message. It might be a good time to share, because I'm about to touch on something very, very important. Because trainers, I have seen trainers make this mistake. And even with the Animal Protective League, which is like the animal ASPCA here in Ohio, here in Cleveland, they do not practice. They do not allow negative reinforcement. And this is not natural within a dog pack. A lot of the common theme amongst dog trainers, dog enthusiasts, modern society is this positive reinforcement approach. And with a dominant breed, there has to be balance. And if we go back to the wolf pack, this sometimes causes you to get physical. You have to correct the dog's behavior, and you have a collar. They have instruments, they have tools that are available for you to use. I use a corrective collar. I showed you that in some of my previous videos, this equipment. And what I would do is I will make the dog uncomfortable with the corrective collar. And it's a tool designed for this purpose. That's right. And it's for the safety and the protection and the proper order of the pack. It's not about, getting my rocks off, getting physical with the dog. It has to be understood that I'm saving your life. I'm responsible for you. You're not responsible for me. And if I allow you to do what you want to do, you may break a rule, not only of our pack, but one of the laws of the government. And then that can result in you end up in the shelter where you become non-adoptable, and then end up ultimately put to sleep. And that's not even the worst case scenario. You could end up injuring someone and possibly fatally. You're talking about a small child or somebody, an elder, a senior, and we want to protect the general public, and you want to protect the dog at the same time. And it's about being responsible. It's about being accountable. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I feel like that is something that, so let me just I'm gonna run down a couple of different behaviors, and I'll just give you some examples of submissive behaviors versus dominant behaviors. And I got this written down. So a dominant dog will have that piercing stare. And the best way that I can describe it is, in human terms, would be like mean mugging or mugging, where you looking at and you like doing a stare down. The dominant dog will do the stare down. The submissive dog will avert their eyes. They're going to look away. They don't maintain that strong eye contact. So if you catch your dog doing that, he may be at this time trying to assert his dominance. And if you don't address that behavior, then you are acting as a submissive. Alphas run around with their tail up, their ears up. Sometimes you'll see the scruff on the back of their neck. They have that erect posture. those are dominant behaviors. Those are dominant, the way that the dominant dog runs. The submissive dog will have this crouched, they will be crouched down. They have their tail tucked between their legs. The ears are laid back and relaxed. So if you have the dog doing that, that's a good sign that the dog is being submissive. And the tones, we'll talk about the tones. So, like I said earlier in the broadcast, submissive dogs, omegas, they tend to whine. They have a higher pitched tone. And this is not just information that I'm coming up with off the top of my head. This is documentable, verifiable. If you do your research, they whine. The alphas don't whine. The alpha doesn't have this cry. They don't cry. They don't have this whimpering and whining type of behaviors. The alpha commands respect. They growl, and they issue out discipline. They bite. That's the short of it. I don't know how to sugarcoat it. They bite. And this is the way that they maintain order. But we don't do that with our dogs. We use the correction collar, because that simulates the bite. So it has the teeth in there. It's a training collar. It's a tool developed by dog trainers. You can find it anywhere in America, any pet store, and it has to be employed to establish the proper roles. So with that being said, I'll answer a few questions, and then I got a couple of announcements. I hope that y'all enjoyed that. I hope everyone found that very informative. I tried to do some research. I've been working. I got my hours is different. Haven't been able to do the show, but I'm back to get the hours. I'm available at this time, so I'm gonna get back to doing my show. I did my research, knowing and anticipating that I was gonna be here. Thank you very much, and so I'm happy to share this information with y'all, because at the end of the day, I really would like for everyone to have successful and positive relationships with their dog. And my job as the breeder, a breed enthusiast, is to help you along your journey. And so with that being said, we're going to get to the questions. And thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much. Jan Bleeds Blue. Thank you very much for joining and your support. I tried to touch on the temperaments of the different mastiffs. Most mastiffs are going to be companions. They are going to serve some role as a defender. And a lot of that, what role they play, is unique to the geographic location or the task that they're going to be performing or what they're going to be defending against. That's right. Didn't have many questions. So we formed a new Boerboel Club, the United Boerboel Club, and we're going to be doing appraisals. It's going to be more members involved club, not one person just making all the decisions, taking all the money. And we're going to have members. We're going to have the members are involved with the club. If you would like to become a board member, reach out to me. The website is unitedboerboelclub.com. We already have the website established. We're putting on a big dog show, a big Boerboel show coming up in July. what we're going to be. And then I'm calling out everybody. I'm calling out all the breeders, all of these people that's saying they got the baddest dog, you got the biggest dog. Bring them out. We're going to see. We're going to put them on a scale. We're going to bring out the measuring tape. We're going to bring out the, we're going to measure their heads. We're going to measure their necks. We'll measure their length of the body. We're going to get the real deal measurements. And then once your dog, this is how we're going to be doing our appraisals. So this is going to be all factual. It's not going to be left objective to what your preference is, or it won't be based on who you like and who you don't like. We're going to leave the politics out of our organization. Our organization is going to be factual based. It's going to be about the dogs first and foremost, and the people is going to be the equal. So if you got a dog and you're not happy with the way that things, if you see through what's been going on with these organizations and how they favor a certain clique or group, this is going to be all, our organization is going to be all based on facts. And if your dog can perform, it's going to get stars based off of obedience, based off of what they can pull, carrying weight, based off of what they can, based off of how fast that they're able to complete a mile. These are going to earn how you will earn stars, and we're going to have a rating system established that everybody can be a part of, that's inclusive, and then we're really going to actually measure the dogs, not based off of our opinion and our belief of what we feel like is the ideal, or what we feel like is more desired, or what we feel like was quote unquote correct. This is going to be, yeah, we coming up there. St. Louis, y'all invited if you would like to. We gonna be traveling the country though. We definitely starting though in Ohio, because Ohio is, where the real Boerboel players are at. A lot of strong Boerboel influences in Ohio. But we coming to St. Louis. We definitely got to come to St. Louis because there's a lot of Boerboels up there. It's a lot of people talking in St. Louis. You know who. Matter of fact, if anybody have we ain't gonna go there. Next episode though, y'all, we gonna be calling out. We gonna be naming names. We definitely coming down there to Texas. They talk so big down there in Texas. We got to go see what's up with them. We're gonna see who got some big dogs. Anywhere that y'all know, the website is unitedboerboelclub.com. My website is boerboelpuppy.com. And you can go and see, let everybody know what's going on. Spread the word. We calling y'all out. If you got big dogs, if you say you got the best dogs, whatever you feel like is the best Boerboels, bring them to the thing, bring them to the meetup, and let's really see who got the best. Let's stack these dogs up next to each other and really see who got what's going on. And with that being said, it's all for the love of the breed, though. And we're not trying to put nobody down. We're not trying to knock nobody down. What we're trying to do is build people up. We want to build dogs up. We want to build the breed up. And we want to share this magnificent breed with everyone. And we really want to title some dogs that is worthy. We want to title some dogs. We want to champion some dogs that have the abilities and they're able to perform and they look good. We're not going to leave that out because that's a big part of it too. So that's the United Boerboel Club. Next week, we're going to discuss the Black Boerboel. We're going to touch on the different types again. There's some controversy surrounding that. Matter of fact, because I've been gone, y'all, I'm going to do some makeup episodes. I'm going to try to get more busy. You see, I opened up the studio. This is my, this the second floor. So this, I didn't have a chance. I got my other studio over there. Didn't have a chance to activate the computer. The camera went down, but this camera seems to work pretty good. Now we'll go back and review the footage. This might be the new style. But so that's what's going on, y'all. I'm gonna do some makeup episodes because I want to really address some of this late, in my absence. I guess some other I want to address the topics that's been going on. They've been talking about the Black Boerboels. They was talking about there was some different country. Oh, the 4 different types. Definitely got to talk about that because I didn't make those 4 types up. And if you have two eyes and you visually look at the different breeders' websites, the different dogs that you're gonna see on Facebook, you're gonna see some different varieties. I'm not making that up. This is also research. In my research, I found that they have these different types. I didn't make that up. And all I did was report the facts to you guys, to you all. And I'm not, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just coming to report my findings. And I want to share this with you all. And I don't think that it's a problem with having so much variety in the breed. I think that it's a good thing. Much like with the Bulldogs, I'll just use them as an example. You got the Painter, you got the Scott, you got a Johnson. They're all Bulldogs. You got the English Bulldog, you got the French Bulldog. They're all Bulldogs. You can't say one is the real Bulldog or one is the fake Bulldog. They all Bulldogs, but they have their different roles that they play. And they each one, you mix and match these different varieties, and in order to create what is the ideal. And Bulldogs is some of the healthiest. Depends on the different ones, because you got some of the Bulldogs that they don't allow. I'm talking about the American Bulldog. Is a very active dog in their role. They still are using these dogs to this day in performance and protection, and as a family companion. They still are very valuable dogs throughout the United States. And that can't be denied. Same thing with the Boerboel. We don't want to have only dogs that are capable of performing in the show ring. I feel like the exotic Boerboel ideal is capable of fitting in any arena, whether it be working, whether it be show, whether it be just as a family companion. That's the ideal Boerboel. The Boerboel is a utility breed historically. This is not something that I'm just trying to do with the dogs because I feel like this is right. Historically, the Boerboel has served as a utility breed. They're not strictly as a herder. They're not strictly as a defense dog like the German Shepherd or a Rottweiler. They're not strictly a herding dog like a Border Collie. They're not strictly a hunting dog like a hound. They are used in multiple different capacities. They are used, and no dog is better than the other. They may fit this role better than the other dogs, or they may fulfill this need. Some dogs may not fulfill this need, and those dogs shouldn't be used in that geographical location, or they shouldn't be used in that to promote it as such. Yeah, they can say what they want about our dogs, but it's cool because you're gonna have fans, and then you're gonna have people. You got some people that's gonna rock with you, and and then you got others that's not. And I don't care what you're doing in this. I just gonna come to accept that. What I do is I tell them peace and blessings. Enjoy yourself. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, and that's not gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing. You see what I mean, though? Blaze blue. You got the idea, and it's not about what's perfect. It don't have to be perfect. The dog sound like it's a beautiful dog, and I know that it's well cared for. And with that being said, y'all, I appreciate everybody for joining. I really am feeling good to be back, and it's been a long time coming. But we're gonna be really getting busy. Our closing out 222 was tough. We didn't have the success that the puppies didn't work out. I was really stressed out. And that's just a part of the game. I had to accept it. And, you got to get some acceptance with these dogs, and you got to keep it pushing. Big shout out to my boy Monroe. I see you here. Everybody that joined, Authentic Boerboels, what's up? Jam Bleeds Blue, Nobby Ben, Sean, what's up, Sean? Yeah, we taking questions. Reggie, with what's up, big bruh? I appreciate everybody. Jeff, Hector goes way back. I appreciate you, man. Big respect. Big shout out to Hector. He motivated me. Rhino Chris from Rhino Boerboels. Watu, what's up, man? Hector had mentored me. He said, left me with some very strong impression that I still carry with me to this day. And I didn't know him from a can of paint, but he had messaged me in the email back in my heyday when I was a little bit more wilder. I wasn't as calm down and relaxed. But man, I really appreciate you, Hector, and Hector Page, Steve, Sam, Barack. What's up, man? Tariq, Tarian Rodriguez. Thanks for joining. Didn't mean to mispronounce your name. Man, Veer, yes, we take some questions if you got them, but I'm finna close out the show. And maybe we had to catch you at next week. D, what up? Everybody, I appreciate y'all for joining in. Listen, don't forget to take care of yourself and do something every day, moving in the right direction. Make sure that what you're doing is, make sure the things that you're doing are I can't even find my words. I'm out of words, y'all. Peace, bruh. Big peace. But if your 9-month-old Boerboel is humping, you need to take your dog, place two hands, snatch the dog off the person, and give them a for sure. Definitely always run the dog, but snatch the dog off snatch him off and give him a firm no. And then he should stop doing that. But definitely run your dogs. If you're not doing nothing else, it's good for you. It's good for the dogs. It's a great experience for bonding. I like to ride the bike with mine and to take a bunch of them out at the same time. But I appreciate y'all for joining me. I hope that everybody is going to have a healthy and a safe week upcoming. Look for us on Instagram, Facebook, and all of our different social media outlets. We got Big Litter coming up that we're excited about. And 2023, y'all, is our year. We taking it by the horns, and we're gonna ride the bull. So we not falling off this time, y'all. 2023, y'all. Exotic Boerboel family, we up, y'all.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal run up. No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and now you got a deal run up. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam.